Some say in the end it all boils down to water. Without it, there's no need to think any further. Air Selangor is Malaysia's largest water services provider, delivering clean, safe water to more than 9 million people. The company says commitment to sustainability is not just a choice, it's an imperative. I sat down here at the COP28 talks in Dubai to talk to Air Selangor CEO, Abas Abdullah. So Abbas, first of all, COP28 is so much bigger than all the other COP meetings before it. A lot of different delegations coming here, a lot of people from the private sector. And the talk, of course, is all about sustainability, but a crucial part of sustainability is resilience, isn't it?
Yes, it's correct. Resilience is the ability to adapt changes like climate change, pollution, extreme rainfall, drought, and so on. So it's important to build resilience in such a way that we can keep going, producing water to our consumers without any disruption. Yeah. So building resilience covers about a few areas such as raw water security, building reserve margin by building more water treatment plants, and also to taper down the non-revenue water.
That's quite a big list. Why don't we take this to the studio and talk some more?
Yes.
Okay, great. Abbas, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about your company, first of all, Air Selangor.
Air Selangor is the largest water services provider in Malaysia and also one of among the largest in the region. Air Selangor supply and deliver safe and clean water of about 5,200 million litres per day to 9.1 million consumers. This is about more than 30% of Malaysian total population. And Air Selangor forecasts the demand will increase over years and it will touch about 6,900 million litres per day in 2030 and further increase to 8,900 million litres per day in 2050. Air Selangor vision is to be the leading water service provider in Asia by 2030. Currently, we serve to the two largest GDP contributing to the state, namely Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. And as of 2022, last year, these two states contribute about more than 41% of the country's GDP. In ensuring a continuity resilient water supply to the customers, we have a plan to embark into building the foundation of resilience. So basically, we're looking the first top three areas. That is, number one is how can we improve raw water security. Number two is how do we build reserve margin over the years. And third one is tapering down the non-revenue water. The magnitude of our operations consists of managing 34 water treatment plants and 12 numbers of dams and transferring water through a pipeline of 31,000 kilometers of length of pipelines with a workforce of more than 5,000 people.
So you're facing a lot of changes. The task is going to get bigger. Climate change is part of that. How does climate change impact the operations and the environment for a water supplier like yourself?
As a tropical country, we receive large amount of rainfall between 2,700 millimeters to 3,000 millimeters a year. And for the last 10 years, we have experienced two adverse effects, that is drought and flood. In 2014, we had an adverse drought season where 60% of our water supply areas being affected. So we have to carry out a rationing to these affected areas. In late 2021, we had too much rainfall. We received 290 millimeter in one day as compared to average 250 millimeter in a month. How do we meet or tackle these challenges? So we need to adapt, mitigate, and carry out an action plan that meet these future challenges. So we have three focus areas. One of the top priority, that's number one, is to build the raw water security. Number two is to build the reserve margin to a minimum of 20% in 2030, which currently we are at about less than 15%. So we are building a new mega project called Rasa Water Supply Scheme to build this reserve margin towards 20% in 2030. And the third one is tapering down the non-revenue water from current of 28.5% to 23.5% in 2030.
Can you tell me a bit more about the Rasa Water Supply Scheme?
Rasa Water Supply Scheme is our latest initiative. We have launched this project early of last year. So Rasa Water Supply Scheme will abstract water from Klang River Basin, and Klang River Basin is the third largest river basin after Sungai Selangor River Basin and Sungai Langat River Basin. Currently, we only abstract about 5% of potable water from the 5,200 milliliters a day from Klang River Basin. With the abstraction of about 1,400 milliliters a day for Rasa scheme, eventually we will improve abstraction from 5% to 20% of Klang River Basin towards the entire water supply in Selangor, Kuala Lumpur.
So, Air Selangor, you're planning for net zero by 2040. Is that right? I mean, talk me through that process.
Our net zero energy vision recently was launched by the Most Honourable Chief Minister, Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari, towards net zero in 2040. The benefit of this net zero, it will reduce cost of our operation costs with regard to electricity. So we had a long plan on this net zero, not only focusing on renewable energy, but also in energy efficiency. So we plan to carry out in 3 phases. First phases will be completed somewhere in 2025 with 7% of renewable energy. In 2030, we target to achieve renewable energy of 52%, and final in 2040, we'll be able to achieve 100% renewable energy.
Do you think it's important for a company like Air Selangor to drive community and social impact?
Our commitment towards community goes far beyond to be just become a water service provider. Sesama mara, in English, together we move forward to provide and aid to the underprivileged communities by giving essentials, foods, oil, rice, and so on. And secondly, we do also provide on-learning program to the children of the underprivileged communities. With this, we'll be able to improve the community's life and also hope in the future. At the same time also, we also support the state government initiative providing free water of 20 meter cube to the underprivileged families. To date, we have 300,000 families that has benefited from the scheme.
Water's always an issue, particularly at conferences like this one. Are you confident in being able to keep supplying water to meet your needs going into the future?
Our approach on resiliency towards sustainability is in line with National Water Sector Roadmap in 2040. And we are also positive with the statement made by our Minister, Natural Resources, Environmental and Climate Change recently in COP28, talking about low emission carbon, which the government of Malaysia aspire to meet this target by 2050. And this is in line with our net zero vision in 2040. So we can be not only the leading water services provider in Asia, but also a trusted water service provider in Asia by 2030.
Okay, Abas, thanks very much.
Thank you.